Hello, everybody. Okay, I feel well enough this evening that I thought I'd try to get a couple of videos made for tomorrow, which will be Monday when you're watching it. I thought about uploading one today, this evening, but I think just going ahead and recording them so that I can upload them accordingly tomorrow. So this first reading here is going to be Living a Life of Awareness by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., Daily Meditations on the Toltec Path. And it's the conclusion of the book. And I have yet to figure out what I'm going to begin reading next to replace this daily reading that I do. And just because of everything that's happened between last week and this week with a car hitting me in the broken arm, I don't know when exactly I'll upload a video announcing the official start of a giveaway for people to enter and comment on that video. Sometime this week, hopefully, maybe. But tomorrow, my first agenda in the morning is calling the doctor, setting up the appointment they want to set up for Wednesday. And then I got a few other phone calls to make, like to the insurance company. I really need to. I need to see about changing plans or finding a better plan, doing something. Just different things that I have long overdue needing to do. Anyway, let's start this. I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 pages here. And well, I'm going to try to read it without my glasses because I don't really need glasses, I don't think. It's just from staring at the screen as much as I used to, or I think it's also that I keep my tablet on battery saver mode. So even if I got the brightness up, it's still kind of, I have to squint a little more to see things. And that's just not good. But fortunately, I've been not on line very much for this week because during the day, I get up, and if my tablet's charged, I do that. I do what I got to do. And then when it gets to a certain level of battery life, I turn it off and plug it up because it's having a hard time getting a full charge. I really should have replaced this device, but I'm going to see about possibly getting some sort of new device this coming month. But first things first, let's just get my arm fixed. Okay, although you have come to the end of this journey of daily meditations, the practice of awareness is a lifelong adventure. As you go out into the world each day, the dream of the planet challenges you to maintain your awareness as you rearrange in life, navigating the illusions of domestication and conditional love that are expressed so frequently in our society. Most people do not live in a cloistered monastery in the middle of nowhere, free to practice awareness in solitude. They, like you, live in a community in the dream of the planet, where the people they love and the noise of the world attempt to hook their attention in every possible way. Even those who do live in an ashram or a monastery, a space created almost exclusively for practice and awareness, will tell you that their world is far from being distraction-free. So regardless of where you are, coming out of awareness is a universal human condition. For myself, I enter the world each day knowing that I may lose my awareness and temporarily fall back into the habits of domestication and conditional love. Yes, I do as well. The people I interact with put forth an expectation of who I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to behave. And if I begin to believe in their expectations even a little, I've subjugated myself to their idea of perfection. That is the temptation conditional love presents for all of us, or for us all is what it says. I try to make sure if I've messed up, I correct myself. kind of anal about that stuff. It's like if I post something and I see that I misspelled something, either because I typed it wrong or I'm using voice to text and I didn't proofread it. If I catch it after I've posted it, I'll go back and edit it. Just because that's just one of the nitpicks of mine. I'd rather my stuff be spelled right and everything. After all, I consider myself a writer, even though I don't do a lot of writing. For those of us on the Toltec path, or really any other spiritual path for that matter, we must be equally careful not to turn our pursuit of personal freedom or any other method of self-improvement into a new form of self-domestication and model for conditional self-love. If I don't live up to my expectations, then I am not worthy of my own love. Practicing awareness can help stop us from falling into this trap. Here's a personal story that illustrates the ongoing challenge quite well. In January, I looked at myself and said, Miguel, you are perfect, and I love you exactly the way that you are. And I think you would be healthier and enjoy your life even more if you got back into running. In years past, I had run quite regularly, but I had not done so in some time. Consequently, I dusted off my old sneakers and went for a run. I made it 2/3 of a mile before I had to stop. I could feel my heart pounding, and it took me some time to catch my breath. I was surprised at how difficult it was for me to make it just that far. At that moment, I had a choice. I could call myself a lazy bum and judge myself accordingly, or I could realize that this was just my starting point. Be gentle with yourself, Miguel. This is where you are today, and you are perfect exactly as you are. My goal with practice was to be able to run 5 miles without stopping by the end of May. So without any domestication or conditional love, I began my running routine. Before the end of April, I'd met my goal. I was enjoying myself very much, but like any person who gets wrapped up in work, family, and life, I got distracted and my running routine fell to the wayside. So without domestication or conditional love, I began, When I was able to start running again a few weeks later, I expected to be able to run 5 miles without stopping, as that was the mark of my recent achievement, but I could only run 2. At that moment, the disappointment seeped in, and I could hear the voice of my internal judge yelling, What is the matter with you? How are you not able to still run 5 miles? My mind immediately blamed external circumstances and other people for this. Then I watched as I got angry with myself for not keeping up with my own benchmark. Self-judgment in the form of "you lazy bum" filled my mind. Upon hearing my narrator say this, my awareness kicked back in, and I realized the old ways of self-domestication were attempting to regain their foothold, this time with new conditions. Had I continued on this road of self-judgment, I would have placed my Miguel the Good Runner persona on a pedestal, making it a new model for self-domestication. From this point of view, I would need to run 5 miles just to consider myself acceptable, and I wouldn't consider myself perfect as I worked toward the goal. As a result, my motivation would become corrupted as I turned the noble idea of getting healthier via running into a new form of self-domestication. As with all pursuits of perfection that are undertaken with this motivation, the ego is never satisfied for very long. If I were to hit 5 miles, pretty soon that would not be enough. Next would be 8 miles, then 10, and before long I would need to run a marathon to truly be perfect. Every time we use domestication and conditional love as a motivator for change rather than unconditional self-love, suffering is inevitable. This example shows us how subtly the habits of self-judgment and self-domestication can hook us. Without awareness, we unconsciously create the expectations of who we think we are supposed to be based on the agreements we have made in the dream of the planet. For any expectation that goes unmet, we judge ourselves accordingly. To be clear, there is nothing wrong with having goals. They are motivators or focal points for us to create the existence we desire. The problem lies in the fact that we use goals as a reason to either love ourselves or reject ourselves, corrupting them into instruments for conditional love. Thus, our happiness relies on our success, and because this type of success mainly exists in the future and is rarely, if ever, achieved, we are never able to enjoy who we are at this very moment. We spend so much time looking ahead and waiting for happiness to come that we forget to look around and enjoy who we are right now. If we do manage to achieve momentary success by this standard, we live with the constant fear of losing it. Go easy on yourself, guys. That's what I'm trying to do myself. Self-judgment is the root of our suffering. When we self-judge, we aren't able to see and enjoy who we really are at this very moment because we are constantly evaluating ourselves by an illusory standard set by our own agreements. We have been conditioned to believe that our self-acceptance relies on our accomplishments. When we reach our goals, our self-esteem rises. When we don't, we think less of ourselves. This is how the great majority of people interact with one another, imposing beliefs onto one another and subjugating themselves to the judgment of others. This is how the illusion of conditional love spreads throughout the dream of the planet. When we judge another, we are pushing the person for agreements. We are punishing that person for agreements they never made. Through our judgment, we try to force them to make the agreement we want them to make, thus imposing our beliefs on them. Be quiet! How can we stop judging ourselves and others? By accepting ourselves just the way we are right now. Once we accept ourselves completely, we will stop judging others. You cannot give to others what you have not given to yourself. It is through the practice of awareness that we are able to see the perfection that exists in others and ourselves. It's a lovely evening. It's been really hot today. Most of us have experienced incredible periods of awareness in which we are totally in the moment, going with the flow of life. But sadly, these experiences are often short-lived. One of the most difficult tasks we'll ever be faced with is staying in our awareness. For example, one day you have a moment of clarity. You see what you have created for yourself through domestication and conditional love, and you express a decision to shift the way you live your life. You begin a long progress of establishing a communion with yourself by creating harmony in your personal dream. You combine personal experiences along your journey with your mind's understanding of how to manifest awareness. You see the mechanism of conditional love and how it is causing suffering in your life, the lives of others, and you begin to let go with compassion and forgiveness. The seed of unconditional love sprouts in your heart and blossoms as you say to yourself, I am worthy of my own love simply because I am alive. Your personal dream begins to move with the harmony of unconditional love. Then, as you get distracted by everyday life, you begin to forget this new perspective, and your focus slips from your personal dream to the dream of the planet. Your harmony is shaken as you give in to the illusion. But before long, you have another moment of clarity, and you start the process again, this time with a little more resolve and a little more experience. This is the normal course of events for most of us, and we must remember that practice makes the master. By practicing awareness, we create harmony in our personal dream by stopping the downward spiral of domestication and conditional love. We see the chasm in the choice between loving others with conditional love versus unconditional love. Through practice, we learn to dance all over again with compassion. We develop the ability to respect others' creations and understand that they can only relate to us based on their own perception, which is set by their own levels of attachment. We also develop the ability to have compassion and respect for ourselves in our interactions with others. Through awareness, we realize that our no is just as powerful as our yes. We do not allow our intent to be subjugated by the internal judge, nor do we give in to the need of another who wants to subjugate ourselves to his or her intent. We begin to share our unconditional love with our community with the understanding that we are responsible only for our intent. not the intent of others. We are equals in the creation of the dream of us. Right, Gray Cloud. And that tells me more that I need to know. I got to stop worrying about anybody's opinion about what I'm sharing here. If it helps you, fine. But if you find some discrepancy in what I'm doing, feel free to say whatever you want. But if it's nasty Nancy type stuff and being rude, then I won't respond. In the Toltec tradition, controlled folly is the art of staying in our awareness of self as we engage the illusion of the dream of the planet. We remain in our awareness by practicing compassion and respect as an act of unconditional love for self and others. It is the art of controlled folly that allows us to continue to live in an environment where the noise of life can pull us in every direction. This art is the mastery of living in the dream of the planet, while still practicing awareness in everyday life. Like a stone that has been submerged in water for years, yet internally it remains dry. Controlled folly is being a part of the ecosystem without letting its surroundings seep in. Who am I right now is perfect. Why? Simply because I exist at this very moment of life. Regardless of whether I am able to run 2 miles, 2/3 of a mile, or not at all. I enjoy who I am simply because I exist. If I choose to run 5 miles or even participate in a marathon, I am doing so because I want to, not because I want to, not because I have to. Whether or not I succeed at any goal I set for myself, I am still happy being me while doing my best to follow through with my intentions. Living a life of awareness is knowing that you always have a choice in how you express your intent. That in any single moment you can pivot and shift with faith in yourself as an expression of love. You can engage awareness through any beautiful tradition that exists in the world and put your awareness into practice with the tradition that resonates with you. Toltec is a Nahuatl, Nahuatil. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's a Nahuatl word that means artist. The whole world is full of artists in every tradition. We make those traditions vibrate with life by our intent. Let your heart express itself in the language it knows. Let it dance with the song that carries the rhythm of your heart, and let love be expressed through every part of your body. You are the artist who knows how to express this love in the world. The world is your blank canvas, and your intent is the instrument with which you will make your great masterpiece, an ever-evolving expression of love. Living a life of awareness is an idea, a symbol that helps us focus our intent to create a life in which we enjoy who we are and being with the people we love, creating together the dream of us in harmony, respect, and compassion. This is the expression of unconditional love. Love is the perfect balance of generosity and gratitude, and through awareness, you can choose to live in this harmony. Okay, I'm done finally on that. There's acknowledgments, and then there's a little bit about the author. I may do a short little video because it's not much of that. It's just a small paragraph on acknowledgments, and I don't know if that's just a list of names. I'm not sure if I'll read that, but I'll read that little bit about the author. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, and it'll be kind of a lot shorter video. Anyway, it's starting, the light is dimming, the sun's going down, there's some clouds in the sky, and I'm wanting to make this other video, so I'll probably be having my glasses on for the Way the Wizard video that I'm about to try to make. Hopefully everything's going well. Hopefully this did not run out of space and turn off, and I'm actually still rolling. If so, let's wrap it up here. It's just been a hard week, but I'm not complaining. What is complaining going to do for me anyway? But happy Mother's Day from yesterday, which is today. You're seeing this Monday. But happy belated Mother's Day to all you. I did post a picture of my mom's tombstone, and I posted an old picture of some family members, and my mom was in it, and I'm in it. I circled or put right above me, so you can get to see me when I was about 4 years old in that picture. And then to the right of that, where I'm at, over to the right, you'll see an arrow pointing to my mom. Anyway, I don't have hardly any pictures of my mom. I got that picture from a cousin a few years ago that sent it to me. Still need to get hounding my sister about doing what she's long been saying she would do: go up in the attic, find all the old photos, scan them into the computer, and make copies of them for me. So I might be trying to nag her this week and try to see. But she's working 7 to 12 hour weeks. I mean, not hours. She's working 7-day stretches, and here recently this week it turned into a 12-day stretch. So she don't get a day off for another several days. But that's her life, I love my sister. I'm glad that I started talking to her again a few years ago. But let's not get into all that. Until next time, Mr. Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto. Peace and love, everybody, man. Have a great evening or day or morning, whatever time you're seeing this.